and welcome along. This is Virtual Farmer, and in this video we are gonna take a look at Dark Forest, the final chapter. This is a map for Farming Simulator 25. It has been released on all platforms, so it's on PC, Mac, PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. It is by Mrtbone39 and Shantyboys, and yeah, it's available via the mod hub. And we initially spawn in here by the shop, and as you probably guessed by the name of this, this is primarily a forest map. It's actually designed as a forestry map for beginners, is how it's described. And yeah, I think this this looks, and from what I've seen so far, to be a pretty decent forestry map. Before we get into the map itself, let's look at the one thing that you know I'm going to be looking at on here. And what is the underbrush like in the forest? And it is incredibly nicely detailed. So this is a really, really good start on here. I'm liking that a lot. And we've got a nice big shop area here to start off with as well. But before we get into the meat of this map, let's go and have a look at the PDA. And yeah, look at that. This is very much a forestry map. A huge amount of trees on here. We do have some farmland. There's a couple of fields. Field 1 and Field 2 are both on here, and you own both of them on New Farmer. Otherwise, if you're going to do any more farming on here, you're going to have to cut some trees down and make your own fields. So yeah, these two fields actually are don't interest me very much on here, simply because if I'm playing this, I'm after a forestry map. There is only one main farm area on here, which is farmland ID 15 for 100,000. The most expensive piece of farmland, slightly surprisingly for me, is this one over here, 671,000 for farmland 9. This is not the biggest area that you can get on this map, though, as farmland 8, which is 400,000 less, is much, much bigger. Is absolutely huge. So I don't know why there's that discrepancy there, but yeah, that is the largest area. And 9 is the most expensive area. So yeah, it's 3 times the size farmland 8. Cheapest area is one of the main yard areas. In fact, I think, yes, farmland 12 here is only 8,600. It is by far the cheapest of those lands, although actually farmland 2, the second field, that is only 3,396. So the cheapest areas are pretty cheap. However, you're going to be interested in really how cheap the forestry areas are. And 5 and 6, 56,000 for all of that land is not expensive at all. I think that might be the cheapest area of forestry. Yeah, 56. So farmland ID 5 up the corner here. This is the cheapest area of forestry. Nice, cheap area, easy to get. And yeah, so not a lot more to show of the actual PDA. Meanwhile, we do have some production chains on here. And in fact, this has pretty much what I would consider the minimum set of production chains for a forestry map. We've got a carpentry, we've got a cooper, and we've got a sawmill. So we've got those 3 items here together. Absolutely fantastic. Exactly what I would expect on a forestry map. Absolutely brilliant. No owned production chains. Yeah, that works very nicely. So let's go and jump in a vehicle and have a drive around. This area up here is huge for the shop. absolutely massive area. So if you want to spawn in a lot of equipment at once, you can. We've got the Landy here, 036 map on the number plate, because this is the 36th map tour that I've done for Farming Simulator 25 so far. The numbers are getting up there. As I said, I'm going to do a top 10 when we hit 50 maps. Or, yeah, when we've done 50 maps. And have a look at that. I just want to pop out the back of the of our shop area here, because we do have some stuff around the back. And you can see things are nicely done here. We've got the sell by warehouse out the back here, and what we also have here is the edge of the map, which, as you can see, not all that well hidden. It does seem to have a bit of a drop off at the edge, and I don't normally do this, but I'm just gonna drive up to the edge of the map itself just to see how it is. And yeah, it is an actual drop off. I would quite like to have seen the map get sort of leveled up to the edge. And I think if you're doing lots of tree cutting, you could very easily cut up to the edge on here, and that drop away is not great. So that is something I think I would like to have seen done a little better, especially as this is not the first iteration of this map. I mean, this map started off in FS19. It would be good to have seen one of the improvements over a previous version be that the edge of the map was brought up level, because it has a nice, you saw in the dropped away area, it had a nice setup with a lot of background stuff that gets lost because it is so far below the map. I also kind of wonder if with this map the height of it is high, is above where you would get a lot of mist. So it'll be interesting, I think, to see whether mist actually appears on here. We've got the farmers market here, our general sell all area, very nice looking. This of course is the base game farmers market. It fits in fine in this space. I've no issue with that at all. We've got nice roads. I quite like these roads. They're done. It'll be interesting to see whether we have more dirt roads as we get deeper into the forest. We've got a main farm yard area here. We have our harvesters and our sheds. We've got the house. Looks like we've got some chickens actually to start off with. And we got some standard barns with some equipment in. We did actually start with the truck on here. I didn't grab the truck because it was quite a way away from where we originally spawned in. And in here, we've got a couple more tractor. We've got a tractor and some other bits of kit. So, yeah, nice sort of starting farm area. Very open, a little bit plain, but I don't really fault that. As I said, this is a beginner's map, so it is not a map where I would consider an overly detailed farmyard an important thing. I think it could have had a slightly smaller area as a starting area and had a little bit more of a forestry bent to it. Does not feel much like a locking setup here at the moment, and I think some areas to sort of store forestry stuff would have been quite nice. Let's have a look at the map here, and this is going to take us down to our fields. And this road is a little bit big. You might use really big equipment on here, but none of the equipment that you start with on the map kind of suggests that a road should be this big. And the roadway doesn't go all the way to the fields either, which is that is a little bit disappointing. There's the track doesn't seem to go far enough. So I'd like to connect it up with these. The actual fields themselves do have a connection between them, but again, The grass area in the middle of the road is about the width of my landy, and it feels a little bit large, that road. I'm hoping the roads and the tracks through the rest of the forest are a little bit thinner. I'd like to see them at about half the size, to be honest. Otherwise it feels a little bit like you see that this on its own, a little bit wider than this single track I'm on at the moment, feels about appropriate. And yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Right, let's see if we can work out how to navigate our way out of this yard. So we'll head back to the map, and really we want to get round the other side of the lake. So we'll head back out this way and round the other side of the lake there, and see that where that takes us. My thoughts so far on this map driving around here is that there has been a lot of attention to detail on the actual forest areas itself, which is very nice to see. I really like that. But we have an opposite problem to how we have on many maps, where while the attention to detail seems to have been done in all of the forestry areas, there's not a lot of attention to detail on the other areas. The main yard, the shop area, even the roads going to the fields are very plain and very basic. And again, this is a beginner's basic forestry map, but I think it would have been nice to have had a little bit more character in those areas than we've actually got. This road again feels like a 2-lane road. It doesn't feel like a track through a forest, but it does lead us over to the cooperage, which of course is for all the barrel creation and everything. Very happy to see the productions in this, so that's very nice. Good area there, and then we'll keep on going round. So there doesn't seem to be any sort of just tracks going off into the woodland at all. It seems to be this is I think this is an asphalt road going through this, so it's not even that there's any kind of dirt track or anything like that. It'd be nice if it transitioned into that from the main areas. That would have been quite cool. As it is, we seem to have a fairly standard asphalt road running through the whole thing, and kind of connecting up these places. This could be a main road through here very much, and yeah, it takes us right out over here to the sawmill, I'm guessing. Now, interestingly, oh no, it's round the back. I was going to say, interestingly, I don't see anything to start this up, but I can see the blue symbol. There we go. Right at the back here. That is where the wood and everything is done, and that's where you unload your wood. So yeah, I think if you are looking to get into Forestry and Farming Simulator 25, this is a great map. The trees are simple, the buildings are simple, the whole setup of this is simple. You can come in, you can cut trees, you can play around with it, and you can do forestry. I think it's not a map that's going to be long term. I'd be amazed if anybody came into this map and cut the whole thing down. There's not a huge amount of elevation to it. I mean, there's some elevation in there, but we've got no tracks going into these areas to really go and look at it. I mean, I have to go off road to really look at it, because we're driving this road all the way around, and there are no tracks or anything off the edge. In fact, where are we coming up to now? This is another So this is a sell point. We've got a line purchase point. Oh, this is the livestock market. So we've got the livestock market up here. So actually my thoughts are a little bit different having come around to this point. Oh, look at that. See, this is what I was talking about. I'll talk about what I was going to talk about in a moment. But this is what I mean with what I was talking about a moment ago. We're at the edge of the map here. It does suddenly drop off, and we do hit the edge here. But we've got a whole load of trees and everything at the side there. So if this all lined up, if it was all at the all sort of married in, that would raise up and out at the side, and you wouldn't get that sudden gap that makes it look like you're on a floating tabletop, really. Yeah. But yeah, my thoughts on the road going around the edge. It is an asphalt road that we're traveling around. That connects all the stuff around the map. That's fantastic. But we've got no tracks off this road leading into the woodland at all. Which I think other than the very, very wide track that we had at the farm. And I think I'd like to have seen that. I think I'd like to have seen some roads into the forest leading you into areas to maybe suggest somewhere to start at and bits like that. Which that would have been good. I mean, as it is, it doesn't really take much away, but I think it does mean that this does feel like a basic map, a very basic map. I am driving around a very standard road through the middle here, to the point where I actually want to turn and I want to get myself off it and just sort of drive. We've got Land Rover, we're all right, up into here, because I think that there's a lot more to this map if you can drive up and into the forest like this. And now you start to get a feel for why this is, why this is nice and a bit more character to the map. And what really strikes me is that there's a lot of really nice detail and really nice work that's gone into the forestry area on here. And it's a little bit let down by how plain the more general areas are of this map. So yeah, you're going to spend a lot of your time in the forestry areas, so that makes sense, or in the woodlands itself. I think having something that kind of leads you into there would have been nice. Everything else feels very well maintained and a little bit sparse. Still, having said all that, this really is a very nice forestry map, a very nice map to get you started. We've got the sawmill and everything over here. So that was the carpentry that we visited a moment ago. I think this is the sawmill. So nice big area here. And I think I'd quite like to have seen this maybe built into a one of the lake areas. So many lake areas around here, and to have had this built a little bit into that would have been nice. Not the end of the world that it isn't, but this again sort of covers the whole thing of it just sort of sits in an area. It's like an area has been cleared for it, and then the heights raised, and once you get round here, beyond the detail that comes with this sawmill, there's not really any detail around it. There's and that's a little bit odd to me. Yeah, it's, I think the conclusion I'm swiftly coming to the more I drive around this map is plain and simple. This map is exactly that. It is plain and simple. the forest, it's like the forestry areas have been created, had a lot of detail put into it, a lot of variety put into it, and then areas of the map have been cleared to make space for the sawmill or the farmer's market or the farmyard. And then those items have kind of just been placed there without doing any further work to integrate them into the map. And all of the places we've been feel very, very much like that. And we're back down now to the shop where we started, and you can see it here with the shop. This is the River Bend Spring shop setup, and we've got a big shop area that's been cleared. We've got the fences and everything from River Bend, and then we've got nothing around it that integrates it into the map. It's just area cleared, place this in. And nowhere does that feel more like it than at the farmyard. And I'm going to head up there to kind of talk about this a bit more. But yeah, nowhere does it feel like that more than the farmyard up here. It just looks like there's a large area being cleared. There's bits placed around, and there's no farmyard or or lumber area or anything like that sort of done with it, which is a pity, because there's a lot of detail work into getting things like the river and everything that this is on the edge of over here in, and things like that. And yeah, I would like, so this map is kind of the opposite, I think, of what I normally encounter. I normally encounter a lot of prettiness without a lot of functionality, and here I think we've got the right amount of functionality on this map. It's a forestry map that has all of the forestry productions in it, so we've got the right amount of functionality, but we kind of lack the detail on it. And I think if you're doing a beginner's forestry map, that's absolutely absolutely valid, because somebody might not spend a lot of time once they've done the beginner stuff. But once you've done the beginner stuff, it'd be nice for there to be something on here to keep you on this map and keep you playing it. And I think that might be what it lacks. So let's go and have a look at the equipment that you start with on New Farmer on here. And looking at this, you actually start with a surprisingly large amount of equipment on here. You've got an Agromass Aquila Drive 400 drill, an Amazon Centino 4000 super cultivator, a Case IH 4408 corn header, a Hardy Mega 1200 litre sprayer, an International Series 200 truck, a Komatsu 951 forest harvester or tree harvester, Kubota M77 front loader, Kubota M8201 tractor, a Massey Ferguson MF 8570 combine and header, and a Rudolph DK280 RP trailer. I would like to see, you know what? I wouldn't start this map on New Farmer with any arable farming equipment. If it was me, I would have the setup on here very much be a forestry focus. That is the focus of this map. And in all honesty, I think I'd end up selling most of this equipment to buy myself some more forestry equipment. I'd love to have seen a logging trailer. I'd love to have seen a stump grinder. There are forestry items that would be really good to start this map with that aren't here, and then there's a whole load of arable equipment for two fields that really I don't think you're going to want to farm if you're playing this map. There are bigger and better maps to come into if you're farming And yeah, I think that if you're doing a forestry and a logging operation, you're not going to be interested in equipment. So in conclusion, overall, this map for beginner forestry setup feels great. There's not really any bells and whistles on it. It is very simple. It's not going to muddy the water. And if you get into there and you're enjoying the forestry, then that gets you an introduction for maybe something like Silver Run Forest that has a little bit more on it. Otherwise, I think if you're a more advanced player in Farm Sim, you're probably not going to be interested in this map. I'm sorry to say. I think there are maps that have that are a little more interesting forestry wise. So yeah, if you want to get started in forestry and you want to have a tinker around and a play around or test mods out that are forestry related, this is probably a really good map for you. And go and grab it. But for me, I think this is a little bit too plain. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Do you think I'm right on my thoughts on this map, or do you vehemently disagree with me? Which, of course, you are absolutely free to do. But let us know, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Huge thank you as well to all of my patrons and channel members. These videos are only made possible thanks to your support. If you want more from Virtual Farmer, please check out the videos on screen now or subscribe for more. And I will see you next time.